Okay, you're a person, you're half your mum, you're half your dad. You're living your life interacting with the world. You're made up of matter that is mostly your own, with 1 to 3% of that being your very own personalized good bacteria. So I'm around 55 kilos, 1.5 of me is my bacteria. They live in my gut, they keep me healthy, and we share DNA. So when a plant is grown from a seed, like us, it carries a genetic trait from its parents. When it germinates, and grows, it relies on interactions with the soil bacterium through the nutrient cycle, the atmosphere through photosynthesis, and with other organisms via the channels of pollination to grow. They form sustainable communities and they survive. So, heirloom or heritage varieties are really, really old seeds. These plants are historically passed down generationally through families or protected for decades by entire communities. Over time, we learned that hybridizing plants into new varieties through cross-pollination allowed us to breed desired traits, creating stronger, even more diverse varieties of localized hardy plants. This was usually done in the field through open pollination with bees. So GMOs, these are very, very new plants. They're created in labs by university researchers and corporate scientists to solve big global problems like food security in the face of climate change. So, this is a process where we interact with the microbes by leaving instructions from the DNA of one plant for the soil bacterium to use as it travels into a new plant. When we go to the supermarket, you most likely won't find this new tech in the fresh produce section, but in every other aisle, you'll find a product that is most likely using this technology. For example, animal food, processed foods, ethanols, fast food. And when something is organic, that refers to the method of how it is grown, not what it actually is. So, the giants of the global agricultural industry right now make up 70% of the world's commercial seed banks. But it's the smaller scale farmers and growers who are producing 70% of the world's fresh produce. So, together with indigenous people and backyard growers, they are protecting 100% of plant diversity and unique seeds for global seed sovereignty. As of right now, we have to figure out how in the next 30 years to produce as much food as we've ever produced in the history of modern farming. We are seeing a new form of neoliberal corporate language surrounding the politics and science around seeds. And it's nothing to do with the seed technology itself, it's to do with the transnational fossil fueled companies trying to colonize with it. So there's been a strange pattern of big pharma and big agri companies merging all over the world. They share this common idea and pride themselves in using modern technologies such as petroleum chemicals and fossil fueled machines to tackle the world's toughest and biggest issues, public health through public health and food science initiatives. So these companies have a history in war and addiction, heroin, Agent Orange, as well as everyday medicines like the flea treatment I use for my cat, and fertilizers that we use in our industries and pesticides as well. So while GMO plants have no adverse effect on human health, in fact, in an organic setting, GMOs could hold the answer to some serious questions. With 1.8 billion tons in food waste and 9 million people still hungry globally, it's the fossil fuel monocrop mechanized food system and its unscientific corporate logic that's broken. See, these biopirates, they patent seeds as their intellectual property, which means when any crop around the world pops up and grows to have the same desired traits as the ones they've invented, no matter how it evolved to be there, it gives them legal rights for these companies to request royalties and use legal tactics to intimidate small-scale growers. So this farming system involves heavy machinery to till the soil, killing the soil, and accumulative chemical inputs to maintain seasonal results. But there's a much more simple and less complicated and damaging solution to the system they're selling. And it's got to do with our friends, the good bacteria and the microbial world of the soil that they live in. So the web of life is mostly microbial, microscopic, and invisible to us. Bacteria is like the internet of the natural world, viruses are like the memes, and the microchial network is like the cable infrastructure, learning from the climate and connecting everything together. This OG globalized system is everywhere. It's constantly learning and adapting. It's infinitely more complex than the internet and evolves at a rate that makes 5G look like smoke signals. These messages are being transmitted alive on everything and sharing data through swapping DNA at rates of unparalleled colonization, working non-stop to balance the world's equilibrium and keep the planet on track to good health. So we destroy all the essential bacteria, layer of soil, humus, at 10 times the rate we are creating it composting. 95% of all deaths are from chronic diseases, which means we live our way into the illnesses that are killing us, and this technology is a part of a fossilized scam, creating false environments for health to prevail. But this anthropos has given us new hope. Scientists have heard the earth for the first time. People are at home gardening, our air and water have never been cleaner, streets are quieter, and we've proven our abilities to adapt our lives locally for the greater good of our global community. Bats can hear shapes, plants can eat light, bees can dance maps, and a good landscape communicates a language that everybody on the ecological scale is touched positively by.